Hi everyone, welcome to Wednesday's literacy lesson, and we are going to be writing a diary entry again about today. So that's why I've told you to do this lesson in the afternoon, so you have some time for some things to happen during your day. So your LO today is not just to write a diary, it's to write a diary entry using paragraphs according to time. So you probably remember that we've seen this image before, which has tip top written on it. TI stands for time, the P, first P stands for place, TO stands for topic, and the second P stands for person. So time, place, topic and person are all reasons you might start a new paragraph. So you can start a new paragraph by leaving a line or by just going in slightly when you go to your next sentence. So I'll show you that a little bit later on in this PowerPoint. So you could say you're talking about someone who's gone on holiday and in the morning they are on the beach. So you could write a whole paragraph about what they did on the beach, and then when they go back to their hotel you write a new paragraph because they've changed place. What we're going to focus on is we're going to focus on time. So obviously our time is changing constantly throughout the day, but the way we're going to split it up is just into 3 parts, and I'll explain that in a moment. Right, so we're just going to go over again the basics that we shouldn't forget when we're writing our diary. So don't forget that you need to put your date up in the top right hand corner. You need to write in the first person, so that means using pronouns like I, my, we or our, because all of these things are things that have happened to you. You need to write Dear Diary with a capital D for both words, because you are talking, that's the start of the sentence and that's the person that you're talking to. I know it's not a real person, but in this style of writing you imagine the diary is a person. Then a comma, then you start your writing just below here, below where the comma is. You need to remember to use your fronted adverbials, and in the example I'm going to show you there are plenty of fronted adverbials so you can be reminded of them. Also, please tell me how you're feeling about all of these things that have happened. And mostly you need to write in the past tense, because mostly in our diaries we are talking about things that have already happened. So that means saying things like I swam rather than I am swimming. Quite often things in the past tense also have an ED on the end. Right, so here are my examples. This is the kind of thing I would like you to write today. So I'd like you to start your paragraphs with this morning, comma, this afternoon, comma, and later on today, comma. So those are our fronted adverbials which are starting our paragraphs, and they are telling us what time these events happened in. Okay, so I'm just going to read it to you and then I'm going to show you the 2 different ways we can show paragraphs. This morning, I got up early to do some yoga before driving into school. Once the key worker children arrived, we practiced counting in Spanish, which was really fun. Then we did a numeracy challenge which involved us all kicking balls into goals we had made. After this, we learnt about the Emperor Hadrian, who was a very interesting man. This afternoon, we listened to some stories about women who were important in space science. Their stories were really inspiring. Then we started to write today's diary entry, which is what I'm doing now. It is really cool to write in my diary that I made and decorated yesterday. Later on today, comma, I am having a meeting with some of my friends on Zoom, which I'm really looking forward to. So you can see I've talked about my emotions about certain events. You don't have to talk about every emotion about every event, and you don't have to write loads. Paragraph doesn't need to be a massive amount of writing. I generally aim to have a few sentences like I have in this first and second one. My third one I haven't written very much because I'm not really sure what else is happening in my evening. So I promised you I would show you how we can write paragraphs. So you can see that here we've left a line between these pieces of writing, and that shows that they are separate paragraphs. Another way you can do it though is you can click you can go backwards and you can make sure that you just go in slightly from the margin or from the edge of the page where you are writing. And this little gap here, this shows that it's a new paragraph as well. So when you're reading your books, quite often this is the kind of thing you will come across. It's actually what you'll be expected to do as you move through school instead of missing the line. So it would be really great if you could start using your paragraphs in this way. I also explained to my class, the children that are in school, that they can, if they forget to actually make a mark where their paragraph is, they haven't gone down and they haven't gone in a little bit, then what they can do is they can put 2 lines like that, and that symbolises to me that, oh, they've just forgotten to put their paragraphs in, but they know where they need to go. So we know that our paragraphs need to start with this morning, this afternoon, and later on today. So if you want to make a note of that, that is what your 3 paragraphs are going to start with, and that is how we're going to organise our paragraphs by time. I hope that makes sense, and I hope you're enjoying writing your diary, and I'm sure you'll be able to look back at it one day, which is kind of the whole idea of it. I will talk to you later on today, and don't spend too long on this, just focus on the main things I've said. So this morning, this afternoon, later on today, make sure you do your commas and after your fronted adverbials, and make sure that you've shown your paragraphs and talked about your feelings, how you feel about things. Those are the main things I want you to focus on. Okay, I'll talk to you soon, and I'm going to see you very soon, which is very exciting.